And this one is going to come to us from Reddit. Did I share the Reddit link with you? I can't remember
You
if I
did
did.
not share a link, but you did share the question that I
Yes.
forgot to look at before we started.
So it is. This is from. I like seeing some of the drama on this subreddit. So it's from. Am I the?
Oh yeah, am I the a-hole?
The butt face.
The butt
yeah.
guy.
So this one comes to us from wrong_basket_6811. Says, am I the butt face for telling my mom she's an unwanted guest?
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So the context here. My wife has had a stressful time at work and was looking forward to a vacation at her grandparents' cabin. She brought a few books she wanted to read, and I brought my fishing rod. She had no plans to entertain. My dad stopped by to go fishing. It was supposed to just be my dad stopping by for the day, but somehow my mom inserted herself, and I was shocked to see her. My wife had no plans to entertain her. I told my mom that. My mom brought stuff for lunch and dinner and tried to engage my wife into making dinner for us all, and my wife said no. She's relaxing and reading. If my mom wanted to cook, that's my mom's prerogative. My dad and I got back late, and at the table, my mom started to complain how she did this all by herself. I looked at my wife, who just took her plate and ate in her room. My mom started to complain to me about it, and I told my mom she technically wasn't invited, and my wife had no expectations to entertain her in my wife's cabin while my wife is on vacation. My mom started saying, well, she wouldn't have come if she knew that. I told I told my mom, next time, take a hint. If you aren't invited, don't come. My parents left after dinner. My mom complained that my wife should have tried to be a gracious hostess. And I said, maybe my mom should try not to be an unwanted guest. So, what do you think about this? Is he the butt face?
For telling his mom she's an unwelcome guest? No, not for that specific question. Because he's you got to have boundaries, and it sounds like mom just kind of joined dad on this trip. But it's man, as a people pleaser, I feel this all at a molecular level, like really, because once somebody shows up, I'm like, well, time to turn on the host show, forget what I was doing and but no, in general, I would say making sure that your parents know that they have to they can't just barge into your room, so to speak, when you're a married couple on a vacation. Now, I was looking down through some of these Reddit comments, and some people pointed out he's definitely a hole or butthole or whatever, and I'm not sure. Inviting dad to go fishing is at least one of these comments saying, yeah, you're the butthole. You invited your dad to go fishing on your wife's vacation. But I think they're reading into it wrong to me, because I think that was their vacation. He's just, putting it this way, like, my wife is, because it's the questions about her.
Well, and the words you say don't tell as much as how you say it.
Sure.
Like, Steven, you're a jerk versus Steven, you're a jerk.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so this is one of the flaws isn't quite the right words. One of the cons of written text. We see the account from this person, but we don't know the intonations of how he conveyed this to his mother. But if we look at this, if at least the way I'm looking at it, reading between the lines, his wife, the whole goal for her for this vacation was to unwind and relax. I've been on plenty of vacations where when I get back, I feel like I need a vacation from my vacation.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
having a vacation that's actually relaxing and actually rejuvenating is very different from just having a vacation. And
Hmm.
so her entire goal based on what he's saying feels like she wants to relax, she wants a chill weekend, she wants to read a book. She doesn't want
To
to
entertain.
to entertain. She doesn't want to have the house hassle of having that extra steps to it because it's not for most people entertaining someone is not relaxing.
Oh no.
There are some people where that really rejuvenates them, that
Hmm.
restores their battery, but for a lot of people that sucks their social battery right out. um the fact that he told his wife when she sorry, told his mom when she got there that she was not going to be entertaining, and the fact that the mom just completely disregarded it
Yeah, that's a big one.
shows to me that bare minimum the mom was in the wrong
Yeah,
in my
and
mind.
mom
And
should
there's
have made clear that she was coming or she was. Dad really kind of dropped the ball on this too.
he did, but there's a way in my opinion that the mom could have been fine
Oh yeah,
if she had done her own thing without expecting the wife to step up. That could have worked
yeah,
if she came into it, and maybe like you said, the dad, if he didn't warn her ahead of time that she's not going to be entertaining. So the mom came in with this preconception that this is how she wanted it to go, and she tried to push that preconception on everyone else, and
yes.
that's where she's really in the wrong.
Mom overstepped.
She did because she could have shown up and she could have relaxed and made it chill and not added stress, and I think it would have been a very very different dinner at that point.
Yeah.
And him inviting the dad, now he doesn't say he covered this with his wife, but the wife's plan seemed to be relaxing at the cabin and reading a book. She doesn't
So
need her
he's yeah.
husband there. In
No, it
fact,
sounds like he's at the cabin. He might as well have his dad down since his wife wants to have some alone time. He's
yeah,
like, "Well, I like to fish. My dad likes to fish. We're gonna go do a little bit of fishing." And that sounds like a perfectly reasonable thing as long as dad knows, hey, after we're done fishing, you gotta go. This is just man, family stuff is the hardest kind of because a lot of times no one's really the butt face in the situation. If
and
everyone
sometimes
would have
is.
and sometimes everyone is like it's like dad dropped the ball by not telling mom like, "Ooh, we better make sure it's good if you come." Of course, it's fine if I come. I'm because probably. I mean, we don't know any of this family dynamic. Dad and mom
Yeah,
might always travel together, so it's not really that unusual for them to show up. But it's
yep,
also wife's grandparents' cabin, not son's parents' cabin. Like we're also bridging a gap there. If you read it, the first part of the paragraph, so
yeah,
he's
yeah.
really a guest in her
It's not his.
grandparents' cabin.
Yeah, it's not his side of the family that owns this. It's her
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, it's all weird. It depends on some people when they get married, their families blend really well and they do everything together and it's like this great thing. Most families don't work that way. Most families like we got your parents and these parents and they don't hang out.
Yeah,
It's not and sometimes that's purposeful, sometimes it's just like we aren't close enough or whatever, like it's I would want to know more about this family dynamic overall if I
yeah,
was going to make a full judgment. But based on the question he's asking, which is, am I the butt face for telling my mom she was unwanted at this occasion? No, because he needs to set those boundaries and the parents need to understand. Like I've had this discussion with my parents before because my wife, we've talked about like suffers from depression and stuff. We've been through that before. And sometimes I just tell them like sometimes it's just not going to be a good weekend. And I need you guys to know that it's not me trying to keep you away. It's me needing you to understand that it's just not a good weekend. And and I think that opened up a lot of good communication because I can then be like, no one wants to be rude. This is a different we're battling a different thing this weekend. We can't entertain. We can't be with you this weekend because this has happened. And now that they've moved closer, they're only an hour away. They used to be 10 hours away. We never had the situation, but now they're close and they want to hang out more. It's like, I just need you to know sometimes you're going to want to hang out, but like my family situation at home is not going to be conducive to that right now. Like, and having that boundary and that understanding means I can say, not this weekend, and it doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. It's just like, I am currently trying to protect, the fragile situation at my house right now. And not fragile, like things are going to fall apart, just like making sure my wife has what she needs to get through like this wave or whatever. Doesn't happen all the time, but even people who have their depression handled, like every 3 to 6 months or something, you might have some breakthrough, So it's like, I need them to know, like, I'm dealing with this. It's not that I don't love you and don't want to see you, but it's too much. So let's hold off.
Well, and some people are going to disagree with me on this, but in my opinion, when it comes to a marriage, your spouse and your spouse's feelings are a higher priority than your parents.
100%. Yeah, that's the love you chose.
Yeah.
That is the one that you need to foster and take care of. That's a very that's how it's done. That's how it should be done. Your parent, that goes for your wife too. I find that my wife had a harder time creating that separation than like I did. Like, dudes, your parents are like kicking you out of the house. Like go. And the sweet baby girl, like, oh, we'll always take care of her. Like, no, I got this. I'm her husband now. I got her.
Well,
you guys can relax.
In my own case, there wasn't really any question because within 6 or 7 months of us being married, my mom had passed away and my dad had passed away 7 years before. So both of my parents were already gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, my wife was my family.
I mean, that was just how it worked.
Yep.
Yeah, you didn't have that extra stuff to deal with. Stuff.
Yeah.
That was the wrong way to put it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. The other facet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so at that point it was if I wanted my kids to have a good relationship with any grandparents, I need to foster good relationships with my in-laws.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah. That's a story for another time. But
yeah.
I think in general, you and I both agree that in this situation, he is not the butt face. Which
no.
We actually, so the label on this post is that the Reddit community voted that he was the butt face. So you and I disagree with Reddit.
They're answering the wrong question.
Yeah.
If you look at their comments, they're all jumping on not his question, but something else in this scenario. That I think, because they're all mad that he invited his dad to go fishing, which invited the mom, which created the scenario that caused the problem. But it sounds to me like him perhaps inviting his dad to go fishing was an understood thing he was doing, and his wife was cool with it. Because they are going to go fishing, and that will be the end of it. The thing that surprised them both was mom showing up and wanting to hang out with wife, and not only that, make her cook food or have her involved in the cooking.
Because I imagine that either the husband was going to do the cooking or they were going to do like really basic stuff that isn't very involved.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have sandwiches and carrots and stuff. Like we're just gonna go as easy as possible. We might even get a DiGiorno pizza and throw it in the oven, and that's gonna be dinner. And mom showed up and wants a big old dinner, like family Sunday dinner thing.
And if you use Uber Eats to order DiGiorno, it is both delivery and DiGiorno.
I love a DiGiorno pizza.